The detention bay of the intergalactic coalition warship Zenith's Edge hummed, with an undercurrent of fear. Soldiers from a dozen different species stood at maximum distance from the reinforced containment cell, their weapons trained on the creature inside. Some trembled visibly. Others had requested transfers off the ship entirely. Inside the cell, Karn waited. The ancient alien war dog was a monument to violence incarnate. Standing nearly 3 meters tall at the shoulder, his form was a nightmare fusion of organic armor and weaponized evolution. Obsidian scales covered most of his body, each one edged with a faint crimson glow that pulsed like a dying star. 6 eyes, arranged in 2 rows of 3, burned with an intelligence that unnerved even the most battle-hardened warriors. His jaws could crush starship hull plating. His claws had carved through armies. Karn was a relic from the Void Wars, a conflict so ancient that most species only knew it through fragmented legends. He had been a weapon then, bred and trained by the long-extinct Kelthar Empire to be the ultimate instrument of destruction. When archaeologists discovered him in stasis on a dead world, they thought they had found a mere curiosity. They were wrong. Within hours of his awakening, Karn had killed 17 researchers and injured 30 more before being subdued and transported to the Coalition's maximum security vessel. Now he sat in that cell, silent and still, radiating an aura of menace that made seasoned warriors keep their distance. Commander Vexillar, a towering Krillian with 4 arms and centuries of military experience, stood in the observation deck overlooking the detention bay. His compound eyes reflected the crimson glow from Karn's scales. "We cannot keep him contained much longer," Vexillar said, his mandibles clicking with frustration. "The psychological strain on the crew is becoming unmanageable. 3 guards have resigned. 2 are in medical care for stress-induced illness." "Then what do you propose?" asked Dr. Millennia, a crystalline Voxian whose body chimed softly with each word. "Execution? He is a priceless artifact, Commander, the last of his kind. The xenobiological data alone means nothing if he breaks containment and slaughters this entire crew," Vexillar interrupted. The debate continued, but neither noticed the human who had quietly entered the observation deck. Sergeant Leo Grant was unremarkable by Coalition standards. Average height, standard military build, no enhanced cybernetics or genetic modifications. Humans were still relatively new to the galactic community, often viewed as curious primitives who had stumbled into the stars through sheer stubbornness rather than any particular brilliance. Leo had been listening for 5 minutes before he spoke. "Let me talk to him." The observation deck fell silent. Vexillar's eyes swiveled to focus on the human. "I beg your pardon, Sergeant?" "The war dog. Let me approach him." Dr. Millennia's crystalline form flickered with what might have been alarm. "Sergeant Grant, that creature has killed trained xenobiologists, soldiers, beings far more physically capable than a human." "What makes you think?" "Because nobody's actually tried talking to him," Leo said simply. "You've been treating him like a weapon or a specimen. Has anyone considered that maybe he's a person?" Vexillar's mandibles clacked in what Leo had learned to recognize as incredulous laughter. "A person? Sergeant, that thing was bred for war. It knows only violence. Then I've got nothing to lose by trying something different." Leo met the commander's gaze steadily. "Sir, with respect, your current approach isn't working. Let me try mine." After a long moment, Vexillar gestured toward the bay. "On your head be it, human." Leo descended to the detention level, ignoring the shocked stares of the guards. He could feel their fear, thick and palpable in the recycled air. As he approached Karn's cell, several soldiers stepped back instinctively, widening the perimeter. The war dog's 6 eyes locked onto Leo the moment he entered the chamber. That terrible gaze held the weight of millennia, of countless battles, of civilizations turned to ash. Most beings would have frozen under such scrutiny. Leo walked steadily forward until he stood directly before the energy barrier. Then slowly and deliberately he sat down cross-legged on the floor. Karn's eyes narrowed. A low rumble emanated from his chest. Not quite a growl, but a sound of warning nonetheless. "Hey there," Leo said quietly, his voice carrying none of the fear that permeated the rest of the ship. "My name's Leo. I figured you might be tired of everyone treating you like a monster." The rumbling grew louder. Karn's scales flared brighter, crimson light painting the walls. Leo didn't move. "I know what it's like, you know. Being treated like a weapon. Before humans joined the Coalition, we spent most of our history fighting each other. We got pretty good at killing, Still are, actually. He smiled sadly. A lot of people out there in the galaxy think that's all we're good for. Karn's 6 eyes studied the human with predatory intensity. Slowly, the rumbling subsided. I'm guessing the Kael'thar didn't give you much choice in what you became, Leo continued. They made you into something terrible, and now everyone's afraid of you for being exactly what they created. That's not fair. For the first time since his awakening, Karn moved. He lowered himself from his standing position, settling onto his haunches. His eyes never left Leo's face. The thing is, Leo said, I don't think you're just a weapon. I think you're intelligent, aware, and I think you've been alone for a very, very long time. In the observation deck above, Vexillar and Dr. Millennia watched in stunned silence as the ancient war dog, the unstoppable killing machine that had terrorized the entire crew, slowly extended one massive paw toward the energy barrier. The gesture was unmistakable. Leo stood and placed his hand against the barrier, directly opposite Karn's paw. Through the crackling energy field, something passed between human and war dog. A moment of understanding. A recognition of shared pain, shared isolation, shared longing for connection. Everyone else sees a monster, Leo said softly. I see someone who's been fighting for so long. They forgot there could be anything else. Karn's 6 eyes closed briefly, a gesture that might have been relief or gratitude, or perhaps simply exhaustion from carrying the weight of his terrible purpose for countless centuries. When Commander Vexillar descended to the detention level an hour later, he found Leo still sitting by the barrier, talking quietly to Karn. The war dog lay peacefully, his crimson glow dimmed to a soft pulse, his massive head resting on his paws as he listened to the human's voice. Impossible, Vexillar whispered. Dr. Millennia, who had followed the commander down, chimed softly. Not impossible, Commander. Simply human. They have a peculiar talent for befriending the most unlikely creatures. As if to prove her point, a low, rumbling sound emerged from Karn's chest. But this time it wasn't a warning. It was something the ancient war dog had never made in all his long, violent existence. It was a purr.